Republican Senator Ted Cruz did not get a warm audience reception during the Texas Tribune Festival in Austin, specifically when he was talking about what he would like to do to stop mass shootings in schools. Take a look.
We want to keep our kids safe, and I desperately want to keep our kids safe. The most effective step we can do is have police officers there to protect them, who can intercept a mass murderer before he gets into the school and stop them. Okay, why didn't it? Okay, you're right. It didn't happen. And why didn't it happen? Because when that lunatic got to the school in Uvalde, there wasn't a police officer on campus.
There wasn't a police officer on campus. Okay, but there were 376 police officers that showed up. And they showed up actually within minutes of this happening. So, look, you had enough officers to go in and take out that mass shooter within minutes of him actually going into the school and into the classroom. So please don't tell me how, this would have been all avoided had we had a person inside of the school with a gun. But you don't know that. Oftentimes, it ends up where a mass shooter will get the drop on a school security guard, and that will be the first casualty. And then, oh, look, free ammo for the mass shooter. But anyway, again, the reason that they were booing is because putting more police officers into the classrooms is not what they want. Because again, we saw what happened when you had 77 officers parked right outside of a door while a mass shooter was murdering children. Okay? They sat there and they did absolutely nothing. In fact, an interim report in the police response in Uvalde found that responding officers had, quote, failed to prioritize saving the lives of innocent victims over their own safety. Again, 77 police officers parked right outside the freaking door. How many more police did they need to feel safe? 100, 200, 500 before they'd go in? I mean, eventually somebody did. These were the Border Patrol agents. But honestly, the people that arrived originally, yes, they had the equipment. They had high-powered rifles. They had ballistic shields. They had body armor. What else did they need? What else did they need? They had the equipment. No, the reason is that they didn't go in is because they were cowards. They put their own lives over the lives of the children. And yet here, Ted Cruz, he thinks, no, we need more of that. Let's have more of that. Let's have more police officers so they can sit there and stand outside the door. Well done. Well done. No wonder he got booed. And again, that more police officers in schools, by the way, is not going to solve this problem. As The Intercept notes, as the number of school resource officers has ballooned over the last 2 decades, so has the number of school shootings. There is no evidence based on those, studies of those shootings, when you look at the data, when you look at the facts, that police have had any ability to stop the shootings from happening. And again, they haven't stopped a single school shooting, a single mass casualty event. In fact, this is according to Alex Vitale, sociologist at the City of University of New York and the author of The End of Policing. Quote, the idea that a standard armed school police officer is going to stop someone in that situation has proven not to be true time and time again. He also noted that, again, police and security guards are often the first casualties in mass shooting events, meaning more ammunition, more weapons for the shooter, and so he can continue killing. Now, armed resource officers have another issue as well. They disproportionately arrest black and brown people at schools. Herding them into the police, school to prison pipeline. For example, the Education Week Research Center found that in 10 states, the share of arrested black students was 20% higher than these students' share of enrollment. So they tend to target and disproportionately arrest black and brown students. And of course, what happens with those is, well, they end up getting records. They end up being disadvantaged in so many different ways by going through that prison, school to prison pipeline. They're just getting them ready, prepared to be future inmates. horrifying. In fact, Radley Balco wrote for the Washington Post back in 2018 that cops are authorized to use force in a way that teachers and school administrators are not. If administrators increasingly turn to on-site police officers to discipline students, that means more kids will be handcuffed, tased, and beaten. But for Ted Cruz, understand that that is absolutely fine. He's got no problem with that whatsoever. Oh, yeah, no, more black and brown kids beaten up by the cops in schools? No, that's fine. We need more of that. What? Oh, school shooting? What are you talking about? No, we're fine with that too. You know, that just means more gun sales for my donors. No, you need to go after the root of the problem, right? And look, the root of the problem is an increasing number of people that are able to legally get their hands on high-powered weaponry and then use that weaponry to massacre people. That's the problem. But again, there's a reason that Ted says, oh, we need more cops, despite the fact that that doesn't work. Well, as Axios points out, Ted Cruz has received the most donations from gun rights groups among Texas lawmakers. I wonder if that's why. Of course it is. We know it. We know that's the case. So that said, I've got another video of Ted Cruz here. Take a look.
Look, if you have a solution to stop the deranged, evil murderer, I'd love to hear it. My solution is throw him in jail and stop the felons, the fugitives, those with mental illness, stop them before they commit these crimes. There are some we won't know about beforehand, and the single best step to stop them is have armed officers on campus that can stop them before they kill our kids. But look, instead, you guys can instead sing Kumbaya with them and hope they'll just stop. But what you're proposing doesn't work.
Boys don't need an AR-15.
If you have a solution, yeah, we do have a solution. It's called prevention. We would actually like to prevent that person from not only getting their hands on a weapon, but actually wanting to get their hands on a weapon to massacre people. That would involve actually doing something more comprehensive than just putting more cops into schools, or than just, banning certain types of weapons. Which, by the way, in some cases, for example, that woman that you heard from the crowd said, well, 18-year-olds don't need, AR-15s. I agree with that. Yeah, you should absolutely raise the age limit and on that to 21. But anyway, according to Mark Schindler, co-author of an April 2021 Brookings Institution and American Enterprise Institute report on school policing, noted that having more well-trained mental health counselors, social workers, and alternative resolution dispute programs is actually more effective than just, piling on police at preventing a student from becoming a mass shooter. But understand, schools don't have these things. No, they lack the resources. They don't have mental health services. They don't have social supports. They can't even afford books for their students. They can't even afford the learning materials. Teachers often have to front this out of pocket. You know why? Because we have funneled that money into police or into tax cuts. So look, there are solutions. And by the way, it's not just one single solution. I think there has to be a comprehensive, multifaceted, approach to ending gun violence, especially when it comes to mass shootings. However, unfortunately, the conversation they're having over in the Republican Party is more cops. Let's continue to do the things that don't work, because since they don't work, that's going to create more. It's going to allow for more mass shootings. And that's going to just allow for more gun profits. We're totally fine with that, because guess what? At the end of the day, we work for the gun manufacturers and not for you.